Ohio State put the pads on for the first time in preseason camp today, Wednesday, 6th practice of preseason camp. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com, along with Stephen Means and Andrew Gillis. And Ryan Day is describing this as a pretty critical week in these position battles that are going on at Ohio State, and that includes the quarterback. He was going into kind of in-depth today about how it's very hard to simulate things like a pass rush in a way that you'll actually see it in a game, but he's also saying that there are a lot of other things that they can do to try to simulate game situations and make this evaluation. And scrimmage is coming up on Saturday, Stephen. We've talked before about how midway through camp is typically when he makes this decision. Do you think Ohio State has its starting quarterback by Monday morning?
I don't think it has the starting quarterback, but I do think the next words that come out of Ryan Day's mouth, I think we talk to him again next week, will be some lines of insert name has started to separate. That's what happened with Justin Fields. That's what happened with C.J. Stroud. And then the very next time with both was right after that second scrimmage where he officially named the starting quarterback. So it's on the same timeline that we've seen Ryan Day use, where we head into that first scrimmage and he's like, yeah, he said a defining week. He said that about a lot of positions, that this week is a defining week for them, where they went to that first scrimmage and it gave them an idea, okay, this might be our starting 22. Then that second scrimmage is where it was like, okay, yes, this is our starting 22. And then they use that third and final scrimmage to finalize some things. So, no, I don't think he'll name them coming out of that scrimmage, but I do think somebody's name is going to be said in a way that's hinting at, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're almost there.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly this shrinks, right? Like, we just started preseason camp. It was less than a week ago, last Thursday. We were out here talking about watching preseason camp. It's the first day of camp, and now we're only 6 in, but if you start backing the calendar out from September 2nd, the season opener, like the week before that is prepping for that game, and then there's only a week before that. We're almost like right up on when they want to start preparing for that game specifically in a real way. So can you kind of feel the urgency building here, and do you think that Ryan Day should start thinking about things in terms of maybe there is a finite timeline that he has to make this decision, or should it remain completely organic? And if somebody doesn't emerge until the last week of August, then so be it.
I think it's the second one. I think if somebody doesn't emerge until the last week of August, then so be it. But it does kind of sound like, you would like to have an answer sooner than that. And, I mean, somebody asked him today about the quarterback situation, and you could tell he was trying to be very cold and maybe not cold, but trying to be calculated with his words and trying to say, trying to be as politically correct as he could and trying to, make sure that everybody knew it was a competition, that everybody knew it was a battle. And I don't know. I still think that you want to have, like Steven's right. I think you're kind of on that trajectory of you're going to have a better answer soon. He was talking about the offensive line, and he said, we'll have some answers for you next Wednesday. I mean, I find it hard to believe that you're not going to have answers next Wednesday. You're not going to have answers after Saturday. You're going to have some idea of what's going on here. So, I mean, the sooner the better, because the more you can get, first-team reps for Kyle McCord. I mean, we obviously don't know if that's happening every day, but assuming it's Kyle McCord, the more you can get him ingrained in the number ones, the more you can get him kind of going with, the rest of the offense, and the more you can just kind of get him acclimated to what a game week is going to be like, that's going to be better. So, I think if you have to play it out till the end of August, you can. I don't think it's necessarily a prerequisite that you have to name a starting quarterback by August 18th, by August 21st, whatever it is. But the sooner the better.
I think it's interesting to compare it to tackle because the way he's talking about right tackle today, we're kind of getting the impression maybe they know who their top two are. We were speculating on that, and now it's just a matter of which place you put them. That's different than, obviously, at quarterback, they know who their top two is, but you're picking one guy, and there's so many implications that go along with that. So I know that we're all curious about it, fans are all curious about it, and we're going to keep pushing like, hey, are you sure? Do you know yet? Do you have an answer yet? Will you know by next week? And he's trying very hard not to commit to that because of what you're saying, Andrew. I think there's no reason to make it a finite date if you're not pressured to it. And I don't think they should feel that pressure. But I also don't think it should go until the last week of August. I do think there is a point at which you have to, for the good of the team, to let the team kind of build around a guy. You're going to have to pick somebody and move forward. We're going to talk about that a lot more this week on Buckeye Talk, and get the text 614-350-3315 for everything we're seeing, hearing, the people we're talking to around the Woody from Buckeye Talk.